Will electric charging stations actually get you more for your home? Watch now. I'm Tom Toole. She is Jess Lion. We've got some new lights here, so you can probably see the gleam on my forehead a little more.
We look beautiful.
You might. I'm going to reserve comment there. I probably don't. This is Toole Time. We got a couple interesting topics this week. First one, I'll reserve my opinion for a second. The Philadelphia Eagles just selected the team's first ever male cheerleader. What do you got, Jess?
Well, it's 2019, about time. I want to see more male cheerleaders. They're exciting, they're fun, they switch it up, adds diversity to the team, but it's not the first male cheerleader on the Eagles team. I did research on this.
So who is?
There were two back in 1984. Mark Mershon, and then there was Paul Kramer, and they were actually, there's a picture here, the first male Eagles cheerleaders, and they had a meeting with the new one.
So I'm calling clickbait on Philly Voice. I did not know that, so great job, guys.
But first one in a while.
Well, first one in a while, and there's four right now in the NFL, and all I have to say is I love this because going to a college where they had big college athletes, there's male cheerleaders there all the time, and they're on the football field. They're tossing people in the air.
I love the male
doing
cheerleaders
handstands.
at Penn State.
I mean, it's very exciting to see that when you're at a game, and the cheerleader competitions. I mean, cheerleading is a lot of people will say it's not a sport.
It's a sport.
I didn't say that, so before you cut me off. So it's definitely a sport. And it takes a lot of work to do, and there's a different element that is going to be brought to the table, having a male cheerleader versus all female cheerleaders. So I'm clear this is going to be something great for the team. It's great on a lot of levels. I love this. The guy's a dance major at the University of the Arts, and it looks like from his YouTube videos he can really bust a move. So I'm pretty excited to see this, and it's a great thing. So
I think it's amazing. I can't wait to see him out there.
Well, big shout out to the Eagles for doing this because I think that's, football's such a macho sport.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the Eagles don't feel that way, but I'm glad to see that they're kind of realizing it's 2019 or even 2010 or whatever. I mean, this is not like a new thing. So awesome stuff. Props to the Eagles for that one. Topic number 2, the big headliner. Forbes came out with an article, and they said that homes in close proximity to electric vehicle charging stations, what they said here is kind of stupid, is becoming the new hardwood flooring when it comes to commanding a higher home sale price. And that's based on an analysis by Realtor.com that showed listings in electrical vehicle-friendly housing markets sell at a premium. What do you think about all this, Jess?
I think that the people who have those cars that can be electrically charged and things like that, they're going to have, more often than not, and I'm working with a client who has one now, they're going to have a charging station at the house, or they'll get one installed.
You have to put one in.
Exactly. So I don't necessarily think that they correlate saying that a charging station near the house is going to raise the price in our area necessarily. In California, where the article was talking about, maybe. But there aren't too many in our area. I mean, and if they are, they're all along, like, around Delaware County. I think that it's more the cars that are electronic powered or whatever, they are expensive. So I think that they're in areas that the price point's going to be a little bit higher. That's where they're seeing the price, I guess, there.
You hit on the flaw in the data. This is I'm so glad you caught this, because if you look at the markets they are talking about, so they're talking about the top 20 housing markets fall within 9 states, with the majority in California. So guess what? Homes in California sell for more than homes in Pennsylvania. There's no question about it. It's a much more competitive market. So when you look at the housing markets they quoted here, let me give you some examples, and then we will talk about the feasibility here in a second. So you have Irvine, Orlando, San Diego, Honolulu, Hawaii, Austin, Texas. I mean, these are New York City. These are, now there's some at the bottom there with Columbus, Ohio. I mean, that one, Saratoga Springs, that's a big resort market. So these are places where the homes just sell for more money.
Yeah.
So That being said, I don't agree with the article, and what I will say is that, to your point, it costs a certain amount of money to buy an electric car.
I think the cheapest is like between like 36 and 40,000, but that's like cheapest.
Yeah,
they're around like, I was looking at them like John Michael was looking at them with me, like 80 to 90 just like to start.
So you have to have someone that has a high income, and then you look at where high earners live. A lot of them live in California and these other markets. Austin, Texas is one of the most explosive housing markets in the country. Hawaii, I mean, come on, you're living in paradise there. So that is one flaw in the article. The other thing I will mention here is that on the East Coast, the feasibility of driving one of these is not the same as in California, meaning the amount of charging stations. You brought it up. Yeah. So I pulled up the greater Philadelphia area, going as far north into Montgomery County, as well as into Delaware County and out into Chester County. There are 4 electric charging stations in the city of Philadelphia, in Center City. There are, by my count, 6 or 7 along the main line. There's 4 along the Route 202 corridor, and there's 1 in King of Prussia, and that's it. So I don't see, and then once you go out and you zoom out from the map here and you look at some of the further suburban locations, there are none.
Nothing.
So what the article's doing is there's more people that have electric cars there, but they're also picking the highest price housing markets where people have more disposable income. So I do not necessarily agree with this article, and usually the electric car battery life, let's do a quick Google search here. I have an idea what it is. But it's pretty far, or it's pretty long, excuse me. So, gotta love Google here. I should have had this prepped. That's my bad. So, how long do Tesla car batteries last? Let's see here. So usually it's about 200 to 300 miles is kind of the range that you see, and that's going to depend. How often are you driving that far, right? So if you have the charger at your home, you just plug it in every night, just like a cell phone. So this article, to me, looks to be some nonsense. They're kind of cherry-picking the data. Not too thrilled with it.
I agree.
So today's motivational quote, and I picked this one because it's the NBA playoffs. Sixers looking okay. We'll see what happens. And this comes from a quote that was popularized by an NBA player, but he didn't actually say it. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Tim Notke is a high school basketball coach, and he's the one who said this. Kevin Durant, after he was drafted in 2007 by the Seattle Supersonics, now the Oklahoma City Thunder, he said it right after the draft. So, Jess, give us your take.
I think that you can be talented as much as you want, but if you don't put time into your craft, someone else who is going to put the time in is going to they're going to beat you out. So it's really important to me to just keep on exercising, building that muscle, getting good at what you're talented at, and not just rely on your talent itself.
There is no question in my mind that the person who has talent but relies on that will lose at the end of the day. When people come to me and they say, hey, I'm really talented, I'm like, great, I'm working smarter and harder. So now what?
Yeah.
It's not you putting the work in is such a fundamental thing no matter what you do. If you think you're a good baseball player or a good professional athlete, how many cautionary tales are there of people that had talent and didn't work hard? I mean, you look at a lot of the local teams here. There's guys that get drafted. They think they're going to be awesome, and then they don't work out. They eat like crap. They don't do the things they're supposed to do. They're not working hard.
It'll only take you so far.
So the person who's talented and works hard, like that's
Killers.
Who's going to dominate, right?
Killers.
That's where. Say what you want about Kevin Durant. Possibly the best player, if not obviously like a top 2, top 3 NBA player right now. He works hard. You may not like his attitude. People said the same thing about LeBron James. Who cares? The point is, when you blend the two, killers is a great term, winners, whatever you want to call it.
Monsters. They're going to come out on top every time.
That's all we got this week, guys. We'll be back next week with more Toole Time and hopefully a new fence.